Thank you all for teaching a virtual JA class in Yankton. This video is just to quickly show you how to access your volunteer guide and the PowerPoint that you're going to be sharing with students. The first thing you're going to need to know is you should have received an email from JASA to set up your password. If you did not set up your password, please email me and I can email you the password reset link so you can access your materials. Once you have your password set, you are going to go to learn.ja.org to access your materials. You're going to log in using your username, which is going to be the email JA has on file for you. Then your password is going to be the password that you just created. I won't have access to it. I won't know what it is. I won't be able to tell you. So if you do forget, you'll have to use that password reset link. Once you log into JA, you're going to see this request for the following items. You can just scroll down and click yes, allow. Then it's going to log you on to the learning platform. You are going to scroll down and under JA My Courses is going to be where you're going to find your class. You can see that I have quite a few classes as I'm JA staff. You should only have the one class you're enrolled in. Mine is down here. It'll say JAR Community, JAR City, or JAR Region, depending on which program you're teaching. Remote Classroom, the year, Yankton, because that's the community, what school, what grade, the teacher's last name, and the year. You're just going to click on that, and it will bring you to the information. To access your volunteer guide, you're going to go to Program Overview and Resources on the left-hand side here. Then you'll see it says JAR Community Guide for Volunteers and Teachers. Then you're going to click the play button. You will see that it opens in a new tab, and there's two ways you can access your volunteer guide. If you want it on your phone, you can access it through a QR code by clicking on your camera on your phone and hovering your camera over the QR code. This isn't the best way to teach JA only because then your volunteer guide is really small. And if you've taught JA in the past, you know there's quite a bit of information on the volunteer guide. What I recommend is clicking this link over here, and this will open up the volunteer guide. If you have two screens, what you're going to do is you're going to open this volunteer guide up on one screen, and then the PowerPoint presentation that you're going to be showing students, which I'll go through later, that will be on a second screen. However, if you don't have two screens or you really want a physical copy, it is not printable, but you can highlight everything you need, put it on a Word document, reformat it, and then print it. Down here, you'll see that it has every lesson, session 1, session 2, session 3, 4, and 5. Since you're teaching in Yankton and it's only spring semester, the school has decided that you only have to teach 3 out of the 5 lessons. As JA staff, I don't care which 3 you teach. So if you have 3 favorites, great. Or if your teacher has a few favorites, that's fine. If you're working with your teacher and they really want all 5 lessons, that's fine as well. So you don't have to let us know what lessons you're teaching, just make sure that you know. We're going to pretend today that we're teaching session 2, the Sweet-O Donuts activity, because this is one of my favorite lessons in 2nd grade. What we would do is we always want to click on the facilitation instructions. Once I click on it, it's going to bring me to the volunteer portion of that curriculum. So if you've taught in the past, it is going to look very similar to the volunteer guide. There's going to be an introduction, there's some presentation tips. Then you'll see here, this screen is showing you what PowerPoint slide you should be on. Then you're going to scroll down, you'll see, oh, we know we need to advance the PowerPoint to a second slide. We're going to greet the students, talk about jobs. Then we scroll to another screen. It's going to be very similar to what you've done in the past. It'll talk about the junior journals or the student worksheets that you need to access. For the junior journals, I'll show you how to access them. You need to talk to your teacher ahead of time and decide if you as the volunteer are going to print out the junior journal / student worksheets and bring them to the school ahead of time, or if the teacher has access to these materials, then they can print them off themselves. Each teacher had the opportunity to set up a password, but I cannot guarantee that they actually did. So please note that you need to talk to your teacher ahead of time. Then you're just going to scroll through. Take the time, you'll see here we have some flashcards. Take the time to look through this and make sure you know what you're going to be talking about. It's got things that you should say, questions you should ask with possible answers, just like your normal volunteer guide. It's going to go through the activity with you. So if you've taught in the past, it's identical to the volunteer guide. However, it is just digital. Again, let's say I don't have two screens, so I want it on printed material. I'm just going to take it. I'm going to highlight everything. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it on a Word document, and then I'm going to print that Word document. So you have to do that yourself. There's no way to print it from this screen. This is how you access your volunteer guide. To access the PowerPoint that you are going to be sharing with students, you're going to toggle back at the very top of your screen back to the JR Community Remote Classroom. Then again, we're working with session 2. So I'm going to go, we'll see all the sessions here on the left. We're going to go to session 2, Sweeto Donuts. This is where you're going to print the junior journals if you're in charge of it. They're right here. But I'm just going to go to the PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to click play, and this is going to launch me into the PowerPoint. It will normally start at the beginning, but since I was just on it in another training, it started where I left off. You'll see there's lots of different screens down here, and I'm accessing them by using the purple buttons right here. When you are presenting to students, you need to make it full screen. That's going to be at the bottom right, and you're going to click to make it full screen. To minimize it, you can either hit escape or use this button right here at the top. Then you're going to navigate using these purple arrows on the right and the left-hand side. Again, you're going to be using this in tandem with your volunteer guide. So the volunteer guide will tell you when you need to advance screens. There are clickable things. This is an interactive PowerPoint. So instead of a physical flashcard with goods, you're going to ask the students, what is a good? What does goods mean? You're going to click on it and it will tell you what it means. Please take the 20 to 30 minutes to look through this PowerPoint, know which things are clickable, which things are not, how to play the game. On this page, if I hadn't looked at it, okay, do I click flower? Do I drag it somewhere? Oh, okay. Now, how do I get out of here? Do I click it? Does it go on its own? These are things where if you take a few minutes and just look over the materials, you're going to know how to play the game, and it's going to make it that much easier for students. Again, you're going to navigate through multiple slides on the bottom here. And just know this goes hand in hand again with that volunteer guide all the way to the very end. If you have any questions on accessing the volunteer guide or accessing the PowerPoint, you can let me know. Or if you're trying to log in and it says that your credentials aren't working, please, again, just reach out. We did have some issues with JUSA system patching some volunteer emails. So please let me know if you cannot access the materials. The teachers are in charge of setting up the Zoom. So they are going to create an account and send you the link. So all you have to do is click on the link and then sign in using the password. I do highly encourage you to take 5 or 10 minutes ahead of time, if you can, with the teacher, either the day, the week before, and log in and click on the Zoom link and beam into her classroom virtually and see what is it like to teach JA. Is her camera in the front of the room? Is it on her computer? Are students going to walk up to the camera? Can you see everyone? Can you hear everyone? Every classroom is different. So if you can log in ahead of time and just see what it's going to look like, then you and the teacher can work together to decide, okay, if I can't hear the students that well, maybe she helps call on the students and has them walk up to the camera, or maybe she just repeats the answers to me. These are things that I can't tell you ahead of time what it's going to be like because every classroom has a different technology. So please feel free to talk to your teacher ahead of time. They're really going to have to partner with you this year to make the JA program great. I appreciate you so much for jumping into the classroom virtually. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer anything, but I hope this video helps you at least access your volunteer guide, the PowerPoint, and the student worksheets for your class.